Dis, tu savais que dans certaines traditions indiennes, les grands-parents choisissent le prénom des nouveau-nés?
Oh non, ça va être horrible pour eux.
Je t'explique, ça se trouve dans une région appelée le Bengale. Donc il est composé du Bangladesh et de l'État occidental indien. Donc c'est une sorte de signe de respect pour les plus anciens. Donc j'ai appris ça dans le livre 𝘲𝘶𝘢𝘯𝘥𝘵 de Jhumpa Lahiri. Je sais pas si tu le connais.
Il me semble avoir vu un film qui doit être l'adaptation de ce roman. On voit l'histoire d'une famille originaire du Bengale et de leur fils, il me semble, Google.
Non, Gogol.
Gogol, oui. Et on le voit évoluer tout au long de sa vie et on voit qu'il hésite entre ses traditions indiennes et la modernité. Si tu veux, je pense qu'on pourrait revoir une scène de justement cette fameuse tradition et tous les problèmes que ça engendre.
Oui, pourquoi pas.
But see, we can't possibly name it ourselves.
I see. The reason being?
We are waiting for a letter.
I see. That is unfortunate. I'm afraid your only alternative is to have a certificate with baby boy Gangoli. You will, of course, be required to amend the permanent record when a name is decided upon.
Is it that we should do?
No, I don't recommend it. You will have to appear before a judge, pay a fee, and the red tape is endless.
Oh dear.
Don't you have any backups?
What is a backup?
Well, something in reserve in case you didn't like what your grandmother had chosen. Or you can always name him after yourself or one of your ancestors. I'm actually Howard Wilcox III. It's a fine tradition, you know. The kings of France and England did it.
Ashima and Ashok think to themselves. These traditions doesn't exist for Bengalis. Naming a son after father or grandfather, a daughter after mother or grandmother, this sign of respect in America and Europe, this symbol of heritage and lineage will be ridiculed in India. Within Bengali families, individual names are sacred, inviolable. They are not meant to be inherited or shared.
Oh, then, what about naming him after another person, someone you greatly admire? Think about it. I'll be back in a few hours.
Ashok remembers the page crumpled tightly in his fingers, the sudden shock of the lantern's glare in his eyes. But for the first time, I think that moment not with terror but with gratitude.
Hello, Gogol. Gogol.
Yes.
Ashima knows the story of the accident, a story she first heard with polite, newlywed sympathy, but the thought of which now especially makes her blood go cold. She has never read any Gogol herself, but she is willing to place him on a shelf in her mind, along with Tennyson and Wordsworth.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye, Google, and good luck.
Gogol enters the world.
Les filles, venez. Vous savez pas quoi? J'ai appris un truc super intéressant. C'est un truc sur l'Inde. Les prénoms là-bas ont souvent une vraie signification liée à la famille ou à l'histoire. Ça m'a fait penser à 𝘲𝘶𝘢𝘯𝘥𝘵, un roman de Jhumpa Lahiri. Il raconte l'histoire de Gogol.
Gogol?
Non, Gogol, les filles. Comme l'auteur Nicolas Gogol du 19e siècle, un auteur ukrainien super connu. Vous connaissez pas?
Non.
Bah donc du coup, attendez, je vais vous raconter. En gros, c'est l'histoire de Gogol, un jeune homme qui a du mal à accepter son prénom et qui cherche son identité entre la culture indienne de ses parents et sa vie aux États-Unis. Le thème principal du roman, c'est justement l'identité et le fait de grandir entre deux cultures, ainsi que l'influence que peut avoir un prénom sur une personne. Venez, on va lire un extrait sur la naissance de Gogol.
Ok.
That evening, Ashoke goes home to the apartments, checks for the letter. 3 days come and go. Ashima is shown by the nursing staff how to change diapers and how to clean umbilical stub. She's given hot saltwater bath to soothe her bruises and stitches. She's given a list of pediatricians and countless brochures on breastfeeding and bonding and immunizing and samples of baby shampoos and Q-tips and creams. The 4th day, there's good news and bad news. The good news is that Ashima and the baby are to be discharged the following morning. The bad news is that they are told by Mr. Wilcox, compiler of hospital birth certificates, that they must choose a name for their son, Further learn that in America, a baby cannot be released from the hospital without a birth certificate, and that birth certificate needs a name.
But sure, we can possibly name it ourselves.
I see. The reason being?
We are waiting for a letter.
I see. That is unfortunate. I'm afraid your only alternative is to certificate with baby boy Ganguly. You will, of course, be required to amend the permanent record when a name is decided upon.
Is that what we should do?
I don't recommend it. You will have to appear before judge, pay a fee. The red tape is endless.
Oh dear.
Don't you have any backups?
What does it mean, backup?
Well, something in reserve in case you didn't like what your grandmother has chosen.
Ashima and Ashoke shake their heads. It has never occurred to either of them to question Ashima's grandmother's selection, to disregard an elder's wishes in such a way.
You can always name him after yourself or one of your ancestors.
Mr. Wilcox suggests, admitting that he's actually Howard Wilcox III.
It's fine tradition. The King of France and England did it too.
But this isn't possible. Ashima and Ashoke think to themselves. This tradition doesn't exist for Bengalis naming a son after father or grandfather, a daughter after mother or grandmother. This sign of respect in America and Europe, this symbol of heritage and lineage, would be ridiculed in India. Within Bengalis families, individual names are sacred, inviolable. They are not meant to be inherited or shared.
Then, what about naming him after someone you greatly admire? Think about it. I'll be back in a few hours.
He tells them, exiting the room. The door shuts, which is when, with a slight quiver of recognition, as if he'd known it all along, the perfect pet name for his son occurs to Ashoke. He remembers the page crumbled tightly in his finger, the sudden shock of Lender's glare in his eyes. But for the first time, he thinks of that moment not with terror, but with gratitude.
Hello, Gogo,
he whispers, leaning over his son's haughty face in his tightly bottled body.
Gogo.
The baby turns his head with an expression of extreme consternation and yawns. Ashima approves, aware that the name stands not only for her son's life, but her husband. She knows the story of the accidents, a story she first heard with polite, new-willed sympathy, but the thought of which now especially, makes her blood go cold. There are nights when she has been awoken by her husband's muffled screams, times they have ridden the subway together, and the rhythm of the wheels on the tracks make him suddenly pensive, aloof. She has never read any Gogol herself, but she's willing to place him on a shelf in her mind, along with Tennyson and Wordsworth. Besides, it's only a pet name, not to be taken seriously, simply something to put on the certificates, for now, to release them from the hospital. When Mr. Wilcox returned with his typewriter, Ashoke spells out the name. Thus, Gogol Ganguly is registered in the hospital files.
Goodbye, Gogol.
Paji says, planting a quiet kiss on his shoulder, and to Ashima dressed once again in her wrinkled silk sari.
Good luck.
A photograph, somewhat overexposed, is taken by Mr. Gupa, that broiling hot late summer day. Gogol, an indistinct blanket mass, reposing in his weary mother's arms. She stands on the step of the hospital, staring at the camera, her eyes squinting into the sun. Her husband looks on from one side, his wife's suitcase is in his hands, smiling with his head lower.
Gogol entered the world.
His father will eventually write on the back in Bengali letters.